Hi, this is Lady of the Movies, and today I'm going to talk about Castlevania. Sorry it took me a while, but hey, I'm back and I'm going to talk about it. So, what is Castlevania? From what I can understand, it's a video game franchise that started 30 years ago, and before you ask, no, I have not played the game. I want to play the game, I just need to find the right system and the right time to do it. This show is season long with 4 episodes, and each one is 25 minutes each on Netflix, which is sad because I want more. Luckily, though, there's going to be a second season coming out next year. It is going to be 8 episodes, and each episode is a little longer than this season. So, from what I understand, they probably wanted to dip their toes into the pool before making a cannibal into it before they make a big splash. So they want to make sure everything was that this is what people want. Okay, let's do it. The show takes place in 1476 in Wallachia. I got my notes here. And pretty much, Dracula sends an army of demons out on Wallachia after they killed his wife by burning her to the stake, being accused of a witch. And Trevor Belmont, Sypha, and Alucard has to stop him. And that's pretty much the basis of this whole franchise. Well, not the whole franchise, but you know what I mean. Pretty much, I love the animation in this. This is amazing. It reminds me of Cowboy Bebop, and it also reminds me of Avatar: The Last Airbender and The Legend of Korra. And this is by the people who did Fairly Odd Parents and Adventure Time, Frederator, and I think Powerhouse Studios. I might be wrong. Let me know in the comments below. And I love it. I love, like, you can just watch it and understand what's going on. But however, this is not a show for kids. It may be animated and animated by people who have done children's shows. Do not have your kids see it. This is rated M for mature. There's going to be gory, bloody scenes. There's going to be the F-bomb. People talking about people having sex with goats. No, literally, there is a scene with a conversation about that. And it's hilarious. So, yeah. I love the show very much as, this show has a sense of Game of Thrones, that you don't know who's going to survive, what's going to happen next, and pretty much you don't know what's going to happen next. One day it's sunny and peaceful having a festival. A year later, after Dracula said, "Hey, I'm going to kill you all in a year," and they have a celebration and a festival on the day of that, to it's raining blood and demons. Literally, like, that's literally the next scene. It was like a mood whiplash, but you like kind of knew, like, oh, this is gonna be horrible, things are going to go down the drain. There is an antagonist, and it's Dracula, but it paints him as a tragic figure, as Lisa, his wife, was, again, I mentioned earlier that she was the one who was burnt at the stake, and that she was not a witch. They accused her of being a witch. She is not. She is actually a doctor who had more advanced medicine. What's considered our medicine was advanced for them, and they accused her of being a witch, and it was out of fear, it was out of fear that they did this. But then again, this was during the rise of corruption of church in Europe. And we don't really know what sect of Christianity this is. It looks like more of a general Catholicism. And I'm gonna say, yeah, that is actually true what happened back then. And yeah. But there is a secondary antagonist in this, and it's the bishop. And I keep getting Frollo vibes from him, except without the sexual lust for women. But it's more of a lust for power that he has. He was the one who arranged for Lisa to die on that stake, And if it weren't for him, we would not have what happened in the show. Sure, it would come soon, probably sooner or later, but if it weren't for him making things worse, Wallachia would not be in that such a state. And they even said, like, he's crazy. That's why he's in that city in the show, because of what happened. The church is like, no, you're gonna go over there. You have done enough damage already. What happened, and then what happened next? He ends up like possibly the only one in power in Grisset, and it kind of sucks for the citizens because they are manipulated to think that this group of people called speakers, who are nomads who just pass their history down through oral tradition, pretty much they blame them because, like, you brought this to us. Why are they here? Because of you. You're here. Get out. And I'm sad to say that actually is true to real life and in history, and possibly even now, that this is going on. That happened in the show. And Trevor Belmont, who he's excommunicated from the church. His whole family is. He says many times in the show that he is the last son of the Belmont family. So I don't know if it means he has any sisters that survived, or that he's literally the last child. Who knows? But it ends up that he does care, but he's like, but why should I? He's not at a point that he does care, but he's like, but why should I do this? And this is the theme of the show. Like, these people have done nothing able to help me. They have done nothing but like stand aside and let these powerful people do this. And one elder said, like, we are not afraid of dying. We're more afraid of not doing our best to help people. And I love that. Like, he's like, this many times in the show, Trevor's been telling the speakers, you gotta get out of the city or else you're gonna die. And the speakers are like, no, we have to stay. We have to help these people. And they're like, again, they're more afraid to fail, to do their best, than die. And pretty much, they're like ready to die for their cause, it looks like. And then later on, Trevor puts him in a place that's safe to a brilliant, funny cutscene. And I got a giggle out of that. He's like, I swear it moved. And I love the show and how they do these characters. It makes you care for these characters. It made me care for Dracula's and Lisa's relationship, even though it's very vague. Like, you know that he says, like, she was my wife, love of my life. And you can tell in the first scene that, yeah, they're gonna get together and they're gonna have a kid, which is Alucard. But you don't really know how the dynamic of the relationship is. And I actually love that. I'm like, I want to know more about, like, what is another reason why did Dracula fall in love with Lisa? And how was she as a human? Like, you can briefly see how she is as a human. She's headstrong, she's smart, she can hold her own, seem physically and mentally. I like to think that she and Dracula have intellectual conversations. And she's kind. She wants to be a doctor. She wants to help benefit humankind. And it's amazing. And then they kill her, and the show makes you care about the characters and how they go through. Saifa, throughout her whole life, she wants to help people, even though people are telling her to go away, or they're going to kill her and all she loved if she and her family doesn't go away. Alucard, he wants to help, and he tried, and at first he failed, but he wakes up a year later, and he's like, I still want to help, and that's amazing. Like, he's like, even though I failed the first time to convince my father not to do this. Alucard is the product of Dracula's and Lisa's marriage, by the way, he's still willing to go, and even though he almost died the first time, he's willing to go back and be like, I want to help. I cannot fail again. And then there's Trevor, who's the most reluctant to help. He is, the whole time he's just wondering, like, why should I help these people, because they have done nothing to me except sneer at me. He's the person in the group that's like, why should I help? He's like a very anti-hero-ish, but you can tell he actually does care for the people of Wallachia. That he does want to help, but he feels like nobody's going to want him to help until he's given a chance to prove that he finally like concedes to do it. And it's amazing. Like you can see the gears turning in his head when he finally decides to help. And it's amazing. He is actually very smart. I wrote down, he's an awesome, drunken, sassy, badass bastard. He is very snarky. At one point, like I said earlier, there was a scene where they have a conversation of someone having sex with a goat. And he's like, he says later on, I hit the guy in the head with a shovel, and now I have to pay this much money because the guy went blind. So many times, he's like, don't make me get my shovel. Don't make me get my shovel. And Trevor, he's antagonizing him. Well, at first he started antagonizing Trevor because he wouldn't leave him alone. He's one of those people who, like, the guy who's doing this is just like, you're a Belmont. Belmonts are bad people. You fought with monsters. To the point Trevor, like, kind of growled. The Belmonts fought against monsters, son. Or so I'm told. He realized his mistake, and he's just like, oh, or so I'm told. He's acting like he's very oblivious to the family crest on his shirt. He's saying, this is just an old shirt I found. It's very cold, so I put it on. Which actually would seem logical. Like, if you just found an old shirt, yeah, you put it on if you're freezing to death. This takes place during the winter, by the way. At one point, he's like, the guy's like, I'm gonna kill you, and Trevor's like, well, you haven't got your shovel, mate. And he gets a punch in the nose, and he starts a bar fight, and it's really hilarious. At one point, and then they woke up Alucard, and Alucard and him are about to fight, because he's like, I'm a Belmont, I have to kill you because you're a vampire. He doesn't know he's a Deathmere. He sees a vampire, you gotta die. And he's like, and Cyber's like, don't kill him. Don't kill each other. He's like, tell that to your floating vampire Jesus here. And I was watching this in the living room, and my sister and my mom were in the other room, doing a puzzle, and they were listening in, and that actually got a laugh out of her. That actually got a laugh out of her. Like, she was listening in the show, and there was only a few things she laughed. That was the biggest laugh she got. So this show is very snarky in how it does dialogue, and it pretty much, you can actually tell what they're talking about, and and you know what they are talking about. And there's actually a lot of themes in the show that's actually very deep, and I love it. One of the things is that they mention a lot is that the only reason like big powerful people can get away with things is the little people just stay quiet and do nothing. And I think that's his mentality, because he's been excommunicated from the church, because they burnt down his home, and no one stood up for him. He felt like that's how nobody's going to do anything. They're not going to stand up to these people who are doing wrong things. Sypha believes the opposite, that if you make enough noise, you're going to get a lot of people's attention, which she does. In the end, they actually do get a lot of people's attention. There is a scene before the demons come in to try to destroy Gresham one more time. Most of the priests are gone. The bishop, again, who I get a full vibe from, is dead. spoilers. um, and and there's one priest left alive, and it's this priest who has beef with Trevor, and it's kind of funny because this guy hates his guts, but he won't do anything for himself. He actually, many times you've seen that he forces other people to do his dirty work. He had this other priest fight for him when his finger got whipped off. No, I'm not even kidding. Trevor used a whip to try to grab the staff this guy's holding, but accidentally took off his finger. And that one I can understand. And Trevor ended up taking the guy's eye out, literally taking the the other priest's eye out. And then he tried to get this whole mob to destroy the speakers. And he's like, no. Trevor tells him, no. You and me fight one-on-one. Because you really like to make people do your dirty work. This time you do work yourself. And then he's like, I bet the people of Grisha never seen a priest with a sword before. And all the people of Grisha are like, and I think this is at the moment they're realizing, oh my god, we are so stupid. Which the people in Grisha are stupid. They don't. But then again, it's that mob mentality, I think. That because they don't really know what the truth was. They hid the truth from the whole population of Wallachia of what happened. That they believe whatever the church says. Now, I'm not saying the church is the bad guy. It's the corrupted people, a part of this small sect of the church, who are doing this. And then as soon as the people in Grisha realize what happened, they go against the priests, and then they work together to able to stop the demon horde. And there's another big theme is family traditions, what you would do for family. Saifa wanted to go find the sleeping soldier. There's a story of the sleeping soldier in the show. You could probably guess what it is a mile away. And she does this to help her people. To help all of Wallachia. She feels as a speaker she has to do this, able to help people. Icard feels like he has to help people to say, I am not my father, but I must help you guys as my mother would have wanted. Trevor, a lot of things he does is in the name of his family. He defends his family's he tried to defend his family's name. He pointed out to the bishop that because you guys felt like you guys didn't want us anymore, that's why we're excommunicated. And the bishop's like, no, because you consorted in black magic, blah blah blah. And you can tell this bishop is like crazy. And I love the term that Trevor says. It's he's snake fuckingly crazy. And I actually love it. I want to use that in the next game I'm playing with my friends. I want to use that at one point if we deal with someone. And it's just like they're saying that there's no true bad guy. We all like everything that happens is out of grief or fear, and it just says like there's no bad guy in this. It's just really horrible choices brought on by people who don't understand. And I think that's a really good message to take from this. And you could tell the characters have gone through a lot through their personalities and how they talk. You can probably fill in the gaps. And I want to say, this is like Cowboy Bebop. We're given very few information about some characters, unless it's through exposition dumps or what they say. But they do it in a clever way because this is part of a franchise that they do assume that people who are watching it are the people who have played the games, but they also know there are probably people who have never played the game before, probably never even heard the games before, that are going to watch it. So they left some things in there so people can understand all this jazz. So, well, I gotta go. So, see ya.